that's inside that young man. It was great to see. They sincerely, I watch it. Steph still with LeBron getting ready to do the pound of toss. He's standing right there, and he shot the three when Steph shot the three and turned around. And he said, I did what you did. I did what you did." Even though LeBron had stolen it from him because Steph did it first, but it shows the level of respect that they genuinely have for each other, and I believe they genuinely love playing with each other last night.
Okay, I buy everything you said, but there has been some history that has been detailed by my friend Brian Windhorst at ESPN over the years.
Yes.
And as you point out, they have clashed
Yes.
in finals games. Fairly regularly they have clashed, and you can see there's something going on. There's some friction between the two. So Brian Windhorst said this back in 2019, not that long ago, talking about LeBron versus Steph. And Brian's been strong on the fact that LeBron was a little resentful that Steph won the back-to-back MVPs because he thought he was right in the race both times.
And it wasn't unanimous when Carmelo took one vote for him, or he would have won it unanimous.
Thank you. Here's what Brian said, Brian Windhorst, back in 2019. I don't know if the word is jealous is fair because I don't think LeBron's jealous of anybody. I would agree with that. But LeBron didn't think it was fair overall the way Steph was treated overall because Steph's been really put up on the pedestal. Right? So if I continue with Brian, LeBron was like, "What about me?" LeBron was like, "If I had delivered some of the eggs or goose eggs, so to speak, that Steph delivered in the finals games over the years, I would be getting skewers." Okay? And he gets away with it. That's LeBron's thinking about Steph.
Because you bring it up.
I brought it up.
LeBron 2011, and then you mentioned Clay and Steph's 2016.
Hey, Steph's 2016 was even worse than LeBron's 2011. LeBron's were in games 4, 5, and 6. This was 5, 6, and 7 with a 3-1 lead.
But only you have been consistent when you talk about LeBron's 2011 and you talk about Steph's 2016. Only you have been consistent on that front.
See that. I actually just got a text from a friend of mine who's very smart in Oakland. He really studies the Warriors. He said, well, Steph was hurt in those 3 games. Well, the great Shannon Sharp tells me, if you play, you play. You know, like if you're out there, I can't give you any pass or excuse for that. I think he had a bum knee that he was dragging around. But still, if you can shoot, you can shoot.
Right.
And if you're that guy, you're that guy. If you have 3 cracks at closing that deal, 2 of them at home with a 3-1 lead, and you're the man, you got to win one of them. I'm sorry, you just do. If you're up 3 games to 1.
And he's a transcendent player because we've seen no one shoot the ball like he did, so he's transcendent. So he has to do things that other just great players. You ask great players to do a lot, but when you're LeBron, when you're Steph, you're Jordan, you're Kobe, you ask them to do a little more.
Right. So in the end, what's LeBron's MO? I was talking about it's the old motto: keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But he's big as he's the face of the league. He's the ambassador of basketball. This is the feel-good event of the year. It's in all sports. No sport has a festival like the All-Star Game, right? It's a celebration. So the last place you want to carry on any conflict, any bad blood, is here.
Right.
So is LeBron quicker to forgive and forget at an All-Star game? Of course he is. And he also knows he's in the power position now because Steph is without Clay.
Right.
Steph is obviously without KD anymore.
Right.
So Steph is up against it. So is Steph any threat to him in the West? Really? I don't think so.
No, not right now.
Right?
Not right now.
Not
but like I
this
said,
year.
I think the thing is that LeBron understands what Steph is, and to get an opportunity to play with that, I'm not so sure. The question is, I love this format because I like to see, the guy really like. If we in the yard, it just goes to show you how they're gonna actually pick skill. If we just choosing sides, I just want to know who's gonna be first and who's gonna be last. So we saw Giannis, but I'm like, that joker got Steph.
Took him.
And I'm like, but I was always thinking, he's like, man, I never played with Steph. This might be my last best opportunity to get an opportunity to get him because, who knows, Steph might be the captain next year or somebody might take Steph before LeBron gets an opportunity if LeBron is fortunate enough to be the lead go-getter again. But LeBron understands that shooting is such a like guys that shoot. Analytics says threes are better than two. So even if you make 40% as opposed to 50% of your twos or 35 or whatever the analytics are, they're looking for guys like Steph Curry. That dunk it, Skip. They don't even want you to dunk the ball. They don't want you to shoot no mid-range shot. Back up. Skip, what did LeBron tell Caruso? I ain't mad that he missed. I'm mad that he didn't back up and shoot the three for us to win the game.
But the two was to tie.
Hey, I don't want no time. If you don't want no time, that's kissing Halle Berry through a screen. You ain't did nothing. You ain't touched the lip. Why you care about a tie? I'm trying to win this game.
Yeah, but when you take a tie at that
Dude.
top guy who's not known for making last-second shots, who's never taken one in his life.
Well, hell, if he ain't never made one in life, well, hell, take it, make him miss a three. Don't take it, make him miss a two.
It's odd criticism.
Nah, LeBron's like, hey. And then I got a chance to play with Steph Curry. What I tell you, though? I told you he was surrounded with shooters. When LeBron get them snipers, hey, look, take that.
But what should have LeBron done on the Caruso play? He should have taken the shot.
Well, he took one the next night. You said he just got frustrated. He took it too far. LeBron, you're better than that. You don't take no logo three. You criticize him taking a logo three.
He's just not a very good shooter. So I think he sits back and looks at Steph like, man, I wish I could do that.
Hell yeah, I'm sure he
If
does.
he could do that, it would be way over.
First of all,
So you'd actually have a case for your goal.
you know good well. The good Lord was gonna get LeBron 6'9", 250, no ability to stay healthy like he does, just the strength that he has, and be able to shoot the ball like that.
Well, the good Lord gave it to Kevin Durant, except for what you just said,
Yeah.
the ability to stay healthy.
Exactly.
Right? He's still out.
He's still out. So for me, Skip, look, what Steph has been able to do at that size, because small guards, don't normally dominate the league.
No.
There have been big guard, Magic, big guard, Oscar, but there have been very few. Think about it. Allen Iverson, but didn't win a title. Isaiah, those are really the small guards.
No, I got it.
But this kid led team to champion.
That's why before his draft, I said, I'm taking that guy from Davidson, #1 overall, over Blake Griffin. And I think now we're about to talk about Blake Griffin. I think most people would say, I've got Steph.
And he goes to a major university. There's no question about it. He goes to UCLA and shoot the ball like that, Skip. He goes to North Carolina. He goes to Duke, and he's shooting the ball like that. He going #1. But it's because he's small.
Shooting that NCAA.
He's like this. He's like.
Yeah.
So, but he's special. I'm glad to see. I'm glad LeBron got an opportunity to play with, because that's what you want, Skip. You know, I'm trying to think. We already planned who we're gonna play with next year.
Olive Branch, a little.
Hey, Skip, ain't no way.
Install the chime app today and get started.
If you want to be on camera, you want to be behind the camera, you want to do radio, podcast, whatever it is, this is a program in full. We're going to prepare you for what this industry is, and you're going to hear it from people who've been in the field, in the newsroom, in the control room for the last 20 years. I'm hearing from people that I worked with years ago who say, I get what you're doing. Where was this before? We're on the cutting edge of doing something no one's ever done before, and the student is the one who benefits.
The Knights have won 8 of their last 9 without Kevin Durant, and now they're getting yet another All-Star. Blake Griffin has officially signed with Brooklyn after his contract was bought out by the Pistons over the weekend. He's expected to come off the bench for the Nets, according to reports. So, Shannon, how much more of a threat does he make the Nets to the Lakers?
Man, I guess the Nets realized they needed a little bit more help to take down a 36-year-old that can't shoot free throws or can't shoot the ball from three. Damn, Skip. So why you need all this? You got James Harden. You got Steph. You got you know why they did it. They don't want to go. Yeah, what everybody do, they load up for the go.
They might be loading up.
Injuries have robbed Blake Griffin of his athleticism.
Lord have mercy, you're right.
One of the greatest high flyers that we've had in the game
Ever.
has no dunks.
He jumped over the hood of a car.
Of a Kia. He went from jumping over a Kia to shooting threes. And that's
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
He went from Dominique Wilkins to Steph Curry in a matter of 3-4 years. But that's what injuries have done to him. It has robbed him of his athleticism. But what he can do is that when they go small, if they can play him at the 5, now I don't know if he'll start, I don't know if he'll come off the bench, but they can play him at the 5 and slide KD back to the 4 and something to him. Plus, having played in the league as long as he has, I believe the three top guys will trust him to be where he's supposed to be,
agree.
know what he's supposed to do,
Yep.
and do what he's supposed to do. So I think he'll be a great addition for what they need. Skip, they don't need another 20-point scorer. They just need somebody that can get a rebound and occasionally make a shot here or there. But they have enough. But they did need another big. I'm not so sure they're still not in the market for a true big. Maybe an Andre Drummond, maybe Hassan Whiteside or JaVale McGee. I believe they're still on the market for another big. But I like this acquisition to them. And I believe he would serve them better because a lot of people have, well, he might go to the Lakers. I just think he's a better fit for them than he would be the Lakers.
So I never thought I would say this about Blake Griffin, but he just makes them a little better.
Yes.
That's all I can give you is a little better.
Yes.
And I'm with you. I think he'll come off the bench. You didn't mention Jeff Green.
Yes.
Playing still at a very high level, and they definitely trust Jeff Green.
The difference is Jeff Green can guard multiple positions where Blake is basically relegated to a 4 or 5.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the irony of this situation to me. I watched just about every game Blake Griffin played at the University of Oklahoma because I'm a fan. But what troubled me was he stayed for 2 years. Well, what superstar stays in college for 2 years? They just don't.
One and done.
They are just counting the days until they can hit the draft. You know, they want to be a professional basketball player. I promise you, he couldn't make a shot at OU more than a foot away from the basket.
Right.
He had no jump shot. He definitely didn't have any three-point range.
Right.
And all he was a tremendous, like a star athlete playing basketball. And again, his father was a famous high school coach, so he's well schooled. His older brother Taylor was kind of his bodyguard for a while. But the book on him in the Big 12 was just rough him up.
Get physical.
Just get him. And if he loses confidence in his 1-foot shot, you got him.
Right.
Right? And slowly but surely, after he goes to the Clippers, he starts to turn into a shooter. And it goes to like he's a 10-foot jump shooter, and then he was a 15-foot, and then he started making his free throws. And all of a sudden, late in his career, he's turned into a pretty good three-point shooter.
He takes everything.
I mean, that's kind of what he does.
Right.
But for Detroit, he averaged 12 points and 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Well, the 4 assists is what I would lock into because he knows how to play basketball. Right. So to your point, he's a nice fit because he's a good guy.
Right. And he's not going to be asked to what he did when he got to the Clippers.
No.
He's not going to be what they thought they were getting when he first got to Detroit.
Right.
He's a complimentary piece to a very interesting puzzle that the Brooklyn Nets have going.
And they don't have to worry about the money because they were able to get him for the $5.9 million exception because Detroit still owes him $29.3 million. You know, like Detroit's eating the bulk.
But Skip, he had to give up. But I mean, he had to give up probably $10 million.
Yeah,
You know, he had
for the buyout.
He had an option for damn near $40 million next year. You know he was picking that up.
Okay, and for his career, he's made $255 million. So he's good.
Boy, I was a little taller.
So he's looking. Well, there you go. So he's looking at. Well, I might be able to win a ring.
Right.
I need to win a ring. So what happened with him and Chris Paul? They clashed because he really thought he was the man, and Chris knew he was the man.
Right.
So it never worked.
CP3 butt head with a lot of people.
With a lot of people, and that's just what he is.
Did you watch Chris Paul? Skip that again. I'm talking. Did you watch Chris Paul chase James Harden down and steal the ball from him?
And it was for real.
Yeah. And James Harden shoved him and almost pushed him out of bounds. Give out a laugh.
Then James ran back on defense to get in his way because it was legit conflict.
I'm like, man, this is an all-star game. Y'all really out there trying to steal the ball from one another.
Yeah, and Kyrie was trying to steal it from everybody.
Everybody. I'm like, well, damn, Kyrie, when you started playing defense like this?
I don't know where it came from. But the point is that Blake is a nice little piece, and I never thought I would dismiss Blake Griffin as a nice little piece because he's not that old, but he's beat up, and yet he's in a good spot. Now, did he have a chance to go to another team? Did they make a phone call on him?
I think the thing is, with Brooklyn, they're the heavy favorites to come out of the East.
Yep.
He can be a piece of that puzzle. He's going to get, I mean, Jeff Green averages 23 minutes, 26 minutes as a starter, 23 minutes off the bench. So could he cut into some of those minutes? Could they down to 20 and 20 apiece for those guys?
Yep.
I don't think you need Blake Griffin playing 30 minutes. I don't know if he can play that long. Detroit, Jeremy Grant is not the new guy there. They got some guys that are young and coming. It's like, okay, we're moving in a different direction. Let's get you somewhere where you can be happy, because what we're trying to do here, you don't fit in our plans.
So why is it that every player who's supposed to be speculated to be on the market right now, like acquirable?
Yeah.
Every speculation, every story reportedly says they want to go to the Nets.
Yes.
And the Nets have empty spaces. You know,
Right.
they were playing 2 players short.
Right.
So now they've got one. And to your point, the Drummond rumors are out there that he's more interested in going to the Nets.
We gonna
The
get
Lakers need somebody big.
we gonna get Drummond. We gonna get Drummond on Whiteside,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be over.
I think he'll be relegated to Whiteside.
We ain't no relegated.
Yeah.
Watch what he does when we get him. He give us probably about 12 and 15.
Is Whiteside Dwight? No.
He gonna be better.
Is he JaVale? No.
He gonna be.
Simple tax returns only. Snap your W-2 and file Fed and state for free. Guaranteed. Get the app now.
To determine who is the NBA's purest scorer, a poll of 30 different NBA coaches, former players, and execs was done by The Athletic. Kevin Durant ran away with the top spot, receiving 20 of these 30 first-place votes. LeBron came in 10th overall, but didn't receive a single vote, better than 4th, and only had 2 top 5 votes overall. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Well, it tells me that people don't look at LeBron as a scorer, even though his scoring averages, he and Kevin Durant are right there. Kevin Durant is 27.1, LeBron is 27.0. LeBron has the 5th highest scoring average in NBA history. But because his game is so well-rounded, he does so many other things other than score, people don't look at him as just a scorer. Skip, if you look at 25 and 7 seasons, LeBron has 12 of those. The next closest is Oscar Robertson with 9. Jordan has,
What you're talking about?
points.
25
points. 25 points, 7 assists.
All right.
LeBron has 12 of those. Oscar has 9.
Yeah.
Jordan has 1. Kevin Durant doesn't have any.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you. Plus, he's also a career 27 and 7 guy. 7 rebounds, 7 assists. There have been very few guys that have been asked to do what LeBron is asked to do. Sure, normally score, Skip, that's what they do. They score the basketball. They put the ball in the hole at a very, very high clip. But LeBron, not only can he score the ball, but because that's not all he does, it goes unnoticed at how efficiently he does that. So the 7 assists, the 7 rebounds. So for me, Skip, it just Kevin. And look, I don't want people to think that Kevin Durant is not electric. But if you tell me a score, I'll take James Harden. And just pure score, just scoring the basketball, I'll take James Harden over anybody that's currently playing. Because that step back 3, the floater getting to the lane, and then what does he do, Skip? Get his butt, park his butt on the free throw line. So as far as pure score, I would take James Harden over anybody currently. That's not a knock on Kevin Durant, because he is a great scorer. But I think the reason why LeBron didn't get the number of people don't view him as a scorer is because he does so many other things other than just score. LeBron is not going to have a 40-point game with 2 assists and 2 rebounds. LeBron games are normally what, Skip? 48 and 8, 40-point triple-double. So it just goes unnoticed. But they don't tell me that. We know what GOAT is. He's still the GOAT. He's still the
GOAT.
Yep.
He can't shoot, but he's the GOAT.
Stop saying that.
Wait.
How the hell you get average 27 points a game when you can't shoot?
I'm about to explain. So, Kevin Durant is the best pure scorer in the game because he can get you 30 on 12 shots. He's the most efficient.
What's efficient? I'm just going James Harden. Just pure score.
Okay, but James is not as efficient as that.
No.
He can't do what KD
No, he don't shoot the ball.
You don't even know KD's out there sometimes, and you look up and say, he's already got 24 points. Where did those come from? Because he can shoot those mid-range J's. He can shoot threes. He's a 50, 40, 90 guy, 50% of the field, 40 from 3 and 90 from the free throw line. And he'll just go routinely to the free throw line, and suddenly you look up and he's 10 for 10 from the free throw line. LeBron James, I said this from day one, if he could have improved his free throw shooting up toward 90%, he'd already be knocking on Kareem's all-time door.
If he'd just been 80, he'd be at 37,000, over 37,000 points right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But if you get up toward 90, like Jordan was 85 and Kobe is 85, you could, and KD is always pushing 90. Well, if you could do that, it'd be over already.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a minor miracle that LeBron James can do everything that he does and still score, but he scores in very different ways than Kevin Durant scores.
Right.
What do I always call him? Greatest driver of the basketball ever. To this day, you cannot keep LeBron James from the rim because he's 6'9". What do we give him now? 260-ish, somewhere in that range?
He trimmed down. He went pescatarian.
Did he? And
No.
he is not. And he weighs what?
250, 255.
260. Let's call him 260. 6'9", 260, and he's still explosively quick at that size.
Yes.
So much that anytime he wants to, he will get to the rim. It's the equivalent of playing bully ball because usually he can just bully whoever. There's nobody who can guard him on most teams who can match up physically, just with the physicality of it. And I'm not saying he is a bully by nature. He just is, like, I spell his name sometimes. It's not LeBron, B-R-O-N. It's B-R-A-W-N, as in Braun, because he is football player built. He is weight room built. So he can get to the rim and score so easily, quickly, just by dunking or laying it off the glass.
He got Magic Johnson handled with Karl Malone's body.
He does. He has Karl Malone's body for sure.
Yeah.
And they're both about the same.
Yeah.
About the same size.
6'2", 250. Yeah.
I would agree with that. And yet he's going to get to the free throw line, and he's just a fair. He's a below average 3-point shooter, but he's what, career 34%, and he's taken higher volume now. He's down to 35%. But the combination of all of the above make him a high volume scorer.
Right.
Where he's going to continue to average what Kevin Durant averages, because Kevin can't get to the rim like this.
Right.
Because he's not physical enough.
Right.
He's still bean Polish, like he's still skinny Kevin, right?
But Skip, remember a couple of years ago, LeBron was 27, 8, and 8. He put 2 of those seasons together, and only Russ, Harden, and Jordan had ever done it, but nobody had done it after the age of 30. He did it twice.
Yep.
He's getting 25, 7, and 7, and nobody's ever done that after the age of 30. That's what he's doing. But because he's doing so many other things well, you just don't look at him. Nobody's ever looked at it as like, Bron just scoring. Because he rebounded the ball, Skip. He might get you 13 and 14 assists. He might get you 12, 13 rebounds. That's not what we see from KD. That's not what we see from the other scorers. And what makes James Harden so unique, James Harden gets you 60 points in a triple-double. He'll get you 50 points in a triple-double. Now, when Russ was going through his streak of all those triple-doubles, Skip, he can get you 40, 50 in a triple-double. But as far as LeBron, I just don't think people view him. People don't realize LeBron James is a 27-point-a-night scorer, Skip, for a career.
Okay, but in this list, he comes in 10th among pure scorers. This is the guy who's starting to get into the ballpark of the greatest scoring in the history of basketball.
It's like Tom Brady. When it comes to best pure throwers of the football, he's never in the top 5. It's who you go with, Aaron Rodgers. Talk about Dan Marino. You talk about Patrick Mahomes. But
you're talking about spectacular throwing. But I think pure throwing, Brady's right there with anybody.
No.
Catchable throwing.
No.
Yes.
But Skip, you keep on telling me that what he can't do. All I know is that he just keep getting these 20. He just keep getting 27 a night.
Can I say nicely that he's a below average shooter? Is that fair?
Yeah. Skip, Skip, you want the man to have everything?
Well, again, what do I call LBJ? LB no J? Because most of the time it's no J.
So you
scored all these points.
You want the People magazine sexiest man alive to also be the richest man alive. That's never gonna happen, Skip. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen.
Well, the basketball gods were good in one big capacity, and that is he is the most durable superstar athlete in the history of sports.
Can you say 40, 10, and 10? 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. Book it.
10,000 games.
You can't deny the jury at this point.
Ain't no 10,000 games.
Still need to talk about this,
He's
guys.
played
What's
10,000.
the All-Star Weekend's biggest surprise? The Skills Challenge. We'll dive in.
For JEA, providing safe, sustainable energy is at the core of all we do. So we continue to invest in renewable energy, electrify our fleet, and offer efficiency rebates to keep keep our environment healthy today and tomorrow. Visit DoMoreWithJEA.com today.
Well, Giannis lived up to being the All-Star Game's first pick for Team LeBron. The Greek Freak took home the MVP after going a perfect 16 of 16 from the floor and becoming the first player to have a perfect shooting night with at least 10 attempts in an All-Star game. Steph Curry and Damian Lillard each drained 8 three-pointers apiece as Team LeBron cruised to a 170-150 win. LeBron is now a perfect 4-0 since the team captain format started. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joins us now. Chris, what is your biggest takeaway from the game?
Well, there were a lot of takeaways, but I'm going to say on the evening, I was struck, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I saw the segment before. It was like the Steph Curry love and respect tour. You know, and we've talked about it even on this show, how do players respect Steph and why they may not respect him as much as they should. But last night, I mean, from the get-go, you had Reggie Miller calling Steph the greatest shooter of all time during the three-point contest, which is huge coming from a guy that played against and with Larry Bird. And Reggie himself, you know, could try to lay claim to being the greatest shooter of all time. Then you had Kenny Smith saying he would want Steph to take the shot at the end of a game of all the players in the league, which I disagree with, but still, Kenny Smith was saying that. It's obvious on the court how much respect Damian Lillard has for Steph, especially, I think, since Steph put 62 on him, and Steph obviously goes ahead and wins the three-point shootout. And then after the game, which Steph played great, shot balls from, you know, all types of ranges, for LeBron to put up that tweet about hashtag change the game by himself alone, hashtag greatest shooter of all time, hashtag respect beyond.
Hey, bro, good game, bro. You good, fuck. Oh, a good ass game, bro. You play your heart out, dog. I give you E for effort, bro. You know what I'm saying? You played a good game, dog. You could add me if you want a rematch, but that shit was a tough game, dog. I give you respect, big dog. You feel me?
Words, I mean, that's major praise coming from a guy that you've kind of been a rival with and you know, played in the finals against so many times.
Cause I'm the 2K GOAT. I don't play you. When I see you make that comeback, I say, yeah, you good, bro. But you playing the GOAT. You feel me, dog? I'm the GOAT. I'm the 2K God. You can go ask Gleech about me. I got a YouTube page. Add me, I'll send you the link. I be whipping ass, bro. But you played a good game. You play your heart out, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no problem. I've been doing this thing, you know what I'm saying, bro? Hey, you ain't got a mic, dog? Oh, I see your request. I'm finna add you. Man, if I had AD, right? Yeah, we rematch, no problem, dog.